This is Bob, and this is Jim. Hello! Bob is the nicest human being that you could ever hope to meet. A hero to all. Loved by men and women alike. When he was very young, he helped everybody that he met in his class and during recess. Teachers adored him. Students loved him. He brought peace to the schoolyard, got rid of bullying, led the school panel in ways of improving education, not just for their system, but for nationwide system. He was recognized several times, had achievements and awards. He was an honor roll student, never had any days missed from school unless he was sick, and never broke a law or told a lie his entire life. Not once. Not once. When asked to lie, just because one kid wanted to see him lie, he refused to do it and said that this would just not be okay. And he hugged the kid, trying to get the other kid to realize why the lie was wrong. As the kid tried to beat up Bob, Bob slowly and carefully subdued the kid so that he wouldn't injure him or himself. He called for help. The teacher came, and he became this kid's friend and got him to a path of mental and emotional stability, all before he graduated from high school. As an adult, he's a pillar of the community. He's done charitable work. His altruism is well known. His success in business is unmatched. He does not do anything illegal or unscrupulous. Everyone loves him. If he got involved in politics, which he couldn't because he's too moral, he would instantly win the presidential election by 100%. And he'd been asked to run many times and politely has declined every time. There's really nothing you can say about Bob that he has done that's bad. The only thing perhaps you could say about Bob that some might consider bad is that he doesn't believe in Yahweh. Jim, on the other hand, is the sort of person that you don't want to meet in a dark alley. Let me rephrase that. Jim is the sort of person you don't want to ever meet anytime, period. At the age of 8, Jim had tortured and killed several pets that the family had. He also cut his father and his mother several times with various different instruments that he gathered from around his house. He spent time in juvenile and then later in life became a criminal. He robbed, he killed, he maimed, he stole, he destroyed lives, and he did so with no regrets. He was vilified and hated by everyone, and feared as well because he was dangerous. Although he had committed several murders, he somehow had gotten out of jail time through devious and unlawful methods, bribing people, etc. In every way that Bob is good, Jim is bad. Jim eventually had the law catch up to him due to a sequence of murders that he simply couldn't pay or talk or scheme his way out of. It was beyond time to sentence him for life. And in this state, the death penalty was in effect. Bob was volunteering at the federal prison where Jim was and made every effort that he could to help Jim in every way that he could do so. Jim took advantage of Bob in every single way that he could. Yet Bob's generosity knew no limits. His compassion and love never faltered, not even once. Jim stabbed Bob in the kidney, yet Bob continued to show him love, affection, and friendship. Jim was going to be executed soon, and it was to be his last meal. He could request one person, and one would think that he would ask for Bob, but he didn't. He asked instead for the chaplain. He was afraid that there might be a God, although he hadn't really given religion even a first thought or a second thought. He thought, well, maybe in my last hours, I better do something here. I've done too many rotten things. And he said this to the chaplain as he cried bitter tears. I'm just so regretful that I've done all these things. I've killed all these people. I've hurt all these people. But there's no hope for me. And I don't know if there's a God, but I think I'm going to go to hell if there's a hell. And the chaplain just shook his head and said, no. Listen, this is the good news. And he began to preach to Jim, and Jim slowly and surely was saved, converted to Christianity. The last day of his life was spent happily praying to Yahweh. Jim believed in Jesus and had fully repented of his sins. During his execution, Bob was watching, sadly, as Jim died. The only person other than officials present for Jim. No friends, no family to show up. No one cared about Jim except for Bob. The execution was carried out, and Jim was no more. Overcome by the grief, Bob's heart failed in that moment, and he too died in the same moment that Jim died. Welcome, I am Yahweh. Wow, there is a God. This whole time, I never knew. That's amazing. It's so nice to meet you. Well, thank you for the world that you've made and all the things. Bob, shut up. What? Bob, you did not believe in me. Well, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I just didn't know. I didn't see the evidence that you existed. But, now that I see you and hear you, and I can even, smell you, and you smell fantastic, by the way. I think I can even taste some of you in the air. It's amazing. I've never felt this. You are not going to be in my presence long, Bob. You did not accept the sacrifice of my son. Therefore, you will go to hell. Well, you are God after all. I don't feel I deserve this, but there's still love in my heart for you, and I forgive you for sending me to eternal damnation. I really wish I'd gotten to be able to get to know you, but, that's just the way things go sometimes. Ow, it's getting really hot. Ow, why? Why, God? Why are you doing this to me? You did this to yourself, Bob. Ow, I'm still in pain. Oh, my word. God, I knew it. I knew there was a God. I prayed to you, and I asked for forgiveness, but all the bad things I've done, I didn't think. I mean, I just didn't think you could forgive me. Oh, Jim, it's okay. You see, my son Jesus died for you, as you know, because you believe this, and you repented of your sins. So you will get to be here with me for all eternity. God, that's so nice of you. Oh, yeah, but, now that I'm reformed and everything, I kind of feel bad about Bob. I mean, there's a gulf between you and he that you can never traverse. That's really sad. Mm. He will suffer for all time so that I may be glorified. You are so awesome, God. I'm just gonna worship you forever. That's right. That's what you'll be doing forever, is worshiping me. Oh, God, you're so awesome. You're so awesome. You're so awesome. You're so awesome. You're so awesome.